everybody, it's me, Andros with episode 63. I am on a Discord call with my friend Micah and Sean, and we are going to be talking Nintendo stuff. I think, what do I say next? Oh yeah, bah! Thank you so much for enduring that intro. You know, I practiced that in my car today, Sean.
Did you and you listened back to yourself? Like that was worse than I ever could have imagined. You gave me the heads up, so thank you for that. That was worse than I ever in a million years would have thought. Like especially if you practiced.
Yeah, no, I didn't listen back to it. I was just like, this is the only time.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, wow.
This is the only time.
Really good job there.
You heard yourself do it, and you're like, yeah, I think I'll go ahead with that. That sounds like a really good idea. I think I'll stick with it.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't ever yell, ever. Yeah. And I now see why you do it in your car, so nobody else can hear you. That's what it's for.
My thing is that I actually just don't really know how else to start a podcast. Like, this is where the truth really comes out, because like We the Gamercast from day one has been like, hey, and I'm doing the thing. I might even go to a callback from like Wayne's World back in like 1992. I think that might be where it comes from. And everybody else that like kind of was, when I was starting the shows, everybody was doing the exact same thing. Like, what's up, everybody? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, but I don't know what else to do. So I just yell at people.
Just yell. Yeah. That fixes things. Well, Sean, speaking of yelling, how are you? How are things going?
I thought you were going to go to Micah. Speaking of yelling, famous yeller.
Yeah, Micah's famously loud,
super loud. Yeah.
If I was in charge of the introduction, I'd just be like, "Yo, everyone, we've started."
Yeah, so there's that, and this is the thing that I'm saying. Like sometimes if you don't know what to do, sometimes you end up coming up with something that is very, very unique. That nobody is starting a podcast with "Hello."
That was the nicest. Started. That was the nicest way to say that's bad. There's a very unique intro, Micah.
Yeah, it was very special how you did that.
Yeah,
but how is life for you, Sean? How are things going for you?
Things are good, man. It's we're kind of like at the end of the year. I'm starting to get emails about Black Friday and stuff, and I'm like, that must be a mistake. I feel like I'm kind of I'm transported time-wise. Like I feel like I'm not supposed to be here right now. We're not supposed to be thinking about Christmas, but Halloween has happened. We're getting the end of the year games, the games we've been like thinking about and looking forward to all year. Like they're happening, and we're buying them and we're playing them. And so I'm a little confused, to be honest with you. I think I'm showing my age a little bit these days, because I'm kind of like, I don't know where I am and I don't know how I got here, but I'll try to make the best of it, and I'll fake it till I make it. If that kind of sums up how I'm doing right now, man.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. It's like looking at the calendar, you're like, wait, well, we're about halfway through November.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I feel like there's been some sort of mistake. Like somebody didn't get an approval or something. Like there's been some sort of error, and I'm waiting for it to be fixed, and it just keeps getting worse every time I wake up.
Yeah, my brain's in July still, and
totally.
We're here in November.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of brains being in July, hey, Micah, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Maybe a little confused, but pretty good.
Speaking of brains being in July.
Hey, this is a show of segues that make a lot of sense, actually. That
was amazing.
I thought it made sense. But things are going pretty good for you, Micah.
Yep, actually, early this morning, my mom got a notification for the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, and she had to quickly wake me up and be like, "Have you seen this? Because this seems like something you would like." And I was like,
"What time was this at? What time was this that she was
like
waking
9
you
in
up?
the morning.
That's not as bad as I was thinking you were gonna say, but still. I was at a GameStop yesterday with my kids, and I could have picked up one up off the shelf. They had a bunch of them just sitting there. Like there was no need to pre-order or anything. Like they just had them stacked up and everything. So I don't know if that speaks to just how it's going across the board, or if it was just in my neck of the woods, or just like a Canadian thing. But it didn't seem like I feel like that was the same with the last one, with the Mario one. You could get them like months after the fact. So I don't know. Not that you were gonna like push children out of the way to go rush towards it, but you don't really have to. I don't think.
If I needed to.
I mean, you can go ahead. Like if you just feel like it, maybe just don't let me. You do you, man.
Yeah, I decided to pass on this one as well. We can jump into. We'll talk about this in.
Well, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Is anybody supposed to ask how you're doing? Like you're always like.
I just don't care. So we usually don't ask him.
What you asked me how I was doing last week, and it actually was surprising. I was like, "Well, that's weird."
That doesn't.
I've never tell
me.
people how I'm doing. No, I'm doing good. Things are good here. Went and got Krispy Kreme donuts tonight, guys. And we went in at the perfect time. They had just, like, the machine was going, and the person had just finished putting these ones in the box. And they're like, "Can I help you?" We're like, "Yeah, we're just here to get a dozen, the classic Krispy Kreme." And they're like, "I have this box." It was instant. Like, basically, as soon as you could get it off the donut machine. Oh.
Can I say something as an ignorant Canadian? I don't want my donuts crispy. We don't have Krispy Kreme donuts here, and I don't want my donuts crispy. I want them like fluffy. I want them like a pastry. I don't want it crispy.
Yeah. That's what they are. They
that
are
sounds
fluffy,
crunchy.
especially because it's got that like magic shell.
I do kind of like a very thin crisp to the outside of my donut. I prefer my donuts dense.
Really? Yeah. So Krispy Kreme, when you get them hot, they are extra soft and fluffy. Oh, we had a little guest appearance here by Little Sean.
I muted my mic. I was professional.
Yeah, Link's getting big, man.
He's a big boy. He just hit my back a little bit. To be honest with you, I picked him up.
So
I should have stretched before that.
We haven't jumped into the regular show. It's been a while since I've podcasted with you, Sean.
I know,
and I feel like last time I podcasted with you, your kids were like half the size they are.
They were. Actually, it's my daughter's birthday on Monday, which not Nintendo related, non-Nintendo. Turns out to be maybe a big deal in Xbox land, as we might be hearing on the internet. So I've got the day off for her birthday, but I might be playing Halo, dude.
Hey, happy birthday! Let's pick some Halo.
So I was like asking my wife, so I'm like, "So what are our plans on Monday?" And she's like, "How come?" And I'm like, "I mean, no reason." Might be a Halo drop of some sort.
There's certainly nothing more important than my daughter's birthday.
Well, I mean, it was really good. I can't believe I didn't realize it until now that her birthday every year will be Halo's birthday. Like we should have called her Master Chief. Like we called her Ellie, but like we really should have called her Master Chief.
That.
Or Cortana. Yeah, we could have called her Cortana, but then she's like a crazy AI. That wouldn't have worked out well. I'd much rather her be a totally vengeful and just insanely angry Ellie from The Last of Us.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Who will risk it all just to get vengeance and all that. So that's my daughter.
Wait, you named her Ellie before the second one came out, right?
It was probably a mistake. Yeah. I didn't see any of that happening.
See, that's where you got to go to the creators. We have friends that named their son after a book character, and they actually went to a signing with the author, and they're like, "So we want to name our son this name, Kaladin."
Waluigi.
Waluigi. What books are you reading? I want to read those books.
Please don't name your children Waluigi.
And they went to the author Brandon Sanderson, and they're like, "We want to name him Kaladin because we really love this character, but we want to know that he's not going to
he doesn't turn into a psychopath.
Turn out to be like evil." And he's like, "You're safe." The author was like, "You're safe, David, of that."
He's like, "You were safe, but now you've given me a great idea."
Yeah,
I will say. Yeah, The Last of Us 2 did I know that this is a Nintendo podcast, but The Last of Us 2 did what it did with Ellie. But like the whole heart of it was that she was like, the savior or the potential savior for the human race. Like she was the chosen one. She was special. That's where the meaning comes from. And then Link, the hero of time, of course. So those are the two kids we've got.
It's some big responsibility for the Capri family.
Hero of time and resistant to zombie bites.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully that one doesn't
happen.
Come in handy.
So I didn't even do any of like the housekeeping items at the beginning, Micah. I forgot to shout out our 5-star reviews and all that jazz. I just jumped right into the show. I was just so excited. I do want to go back. Let's highlight our 5-star review. We got another 5-star review this week from Do you have that pulled up by chance, Micah? It's from.
I do not.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember the name. But if you would like to leave us a 5-star review, you can do that on Apple Podcasts. Just drop on down to write a review, and you can put, yup, pretty good, 5 stars. Boom. There you go. And it helps our podcast so much get seen by new people, get moved up, bumped in the rankings, helps us get up there with like Nintendo Drive or some of those kinds of shows that are like, up at the top tier. We're trying to get up there too. We're struggling. That's why we have Sean on. We're just he's here to endorse us. No, 5-star reviews. I mean, it's crazy. People don't realize how much those small things really help small creators. Like a thumbs up on a YouTube video makes the world of a difference. We're getting recommended to people that would not see our show otherwise if you didn't go on there and just click thumbs up. Sean is very famous. That is true, Ryan Turford. Thank you.
Not true.
Thank you for that. And yeah, so 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Audible. We learned recently you can leave a 5-star review on Audible.
Napsy Plays found the stream by rating them myself.
Yes.
Like rating you guys.
Yeah. Napsy rated us that one time.
That's pretty good.
So
the pitch is rate these guys on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever you like, and they'll lose it before the show. So they'll try to read it, but then they'll lose it.
No, yeah, we'll try to read it, then we'll lose it. Do you have that pulled up now, Micah? I was stalling for time.
Yeah, I think so. It's one about how we do extracurricular types of things. Unless this is an old one.
That's an old one. Hold on. I got it up right here. This is from Purple Railu. I think the Pokemon Railu. And it is titled, Yup, Pretty Good. Awesome Nintendo podcast. Discussions are entertaining and informative. Not to mention, where else can you find... Oh, no, you were right, Micah. You're right. This is that one.
I was right.
Where else would you find a podcast where the hosts are baking a cake or carving a pumpkin at the same time? I would really like you guys to attempt to make a gingerbread house next. And I read this and was like, dang it, that's a good idea. We're probably going to do that. Oh, Sean, we were inspired. We were inspired by your shows because this man, Sean Capri, podcasts while driving a car and ordering things from McDonald's. Like, what?
Gotta be different, man. You can't have just a regular old Nintendo show. You gotta have it like a little bit different at the very least.
Yeah. So we've tried our hand at doing some crazy stuff while podcasting. We've carved pumpkins. We've baked cakes. I've streamed while mowing my lawn. It's so fun. So yeah, thank you for the suggestion and thank you so much for the 5-star review, Purple Railu. You're awesome. And if you would like a shout out on the show, leave us a 5-star review. I'll remember to do it at the start of the show next time. Promise. Probably. Well, we were talking just a bit ago that you were going to be playing some Halo this next week, probably, sneaking it in between some birthday cake eating sessions. So let's hop into the first segment of our show, and let's talk what you playing.
Do it.
Okay. Sean, as our guest, why don't you go first? What have you been playing lately?
I haven't been playing a lot lately. I did Extra Life last weekend.
You just did a full 24-hour stream, basically.
Nothing really all that new. Can I give a shout out to the Jackbox Party Pack games? Because those games are awesome, man.
Oh, heck yeah.
Those games are really, really good.
Here. Yeah. There
is a game that we played on Game Pass that I think is coming out to Switch pretty soon here. It's called Project Winter. And it was a lot of fun, man. It was it throws you in like sort of like a tutorial. You're just all by yourself. You're in basically Canada. You're in the Arctic. You're in some sort of like winter wonderland, and you're freezing. You go outside. You actually start to freeze. You need food. It seems like a survival game. Not my type of game at all. I generally look at those and go like, I get that here in real life. I go outside and I'm freezing and hungry anyways. I don't want that in my video games. But then after you finish the tutorial, you play it as a multiplayer game. We could play the three of us or a group of 4 or 6 or whatever. And it's Among Us is the game. basically. So there's 4 or 6 of you, and there's 1 or 2 traders amongst you, and you have to go around the map and coordinate and voice chat with your friends to go like, I'm over here, there's a bunker, there's some materials over here, and we can collect some scrap and fix up the power generator, or we can fix the radio so that we can call for a rescue. But there's 2 saboteurs among you, and they will try to break down the things that you're trying to fix, or they will flat out just try to murder you in the cold, hide away your food, and it's a lot of fun, man. It was actually, in a lot of ways, I think even better than Among Us, I will say. I liked hunting down my friends. I like setting traps for them. I like putting a mine in front of the cabin that they have to go into to warm up. I had a ton of fun with Project Winter, and I should check out when it's actually coming to Switch, because it was like an early access kind of thing that Game Pass players got.
Relatively new. I feel like I've seen something about that a little
pretty
bit.
Cool, man. Yeah, and so for anybody who's kind of gotten a little bored of Among Us, like it's a lot more satisfying to craft up a shotgun or a baseball bat or an axe or something and like hack somebody up than just to do like the press A to snap somebody's neck, in Among Us. Like there's that thing. It's much more fun, and it's I don't know, it's such a cool game, man. I was not expecting to like it at all. Like I said, it seems like a survival game. Didn't want to play a survival game, but you throw us in with a bunch of other people, and it's pretty easy to pick up. And I definitely recommend people check it out as it comes out, man.
Nice.
I mean, survival games are pretty cool, but survival games where you can kill your friends, now that's top notch.
And you never know who it's gonna be. They're right there with you, and who's acting sus. It's like, I get it. It just, to me, seemed, I liked it better because it was always the gameplay is flowing. You don't like call a meeting and everything stops. You don't you're just going about. It's always you're kind of discussing as you go along, rather than like stop, and then you have like this lying session that happens. Like you just continue to play, and if somebody is the traitor, they can continue. They can keep getting away with stuff. They can kill as many people as possible. And then you just I don't know. It seemed more fluid to me, so I liked it.
That seems like a Micah game for sure.
I love more creative ways to murder my friends in the chat.
Yeah, I see that by Wesley Martinez. love to get your friends. Nice. Micah, you want to?
And Mario Party. Mario Party's good.
Oh, yes, Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario Party might be that.
I missed that when
I didn't, man. Nobody wanted to play it. Nobody seemed to want to jump at it. But I'm playing with my kids right now.
I was watching your stream, and I was like, oh man, can't wait for Mario Party. And then I couldn't find Mario Party. My son,
it never really came up.
My son had it in the Switch Lite, and we just could not find the Switch Lite anywhere. it was gone. I'm like, man, I just got this game and I can't find. We found it eventually, but I did get it, and yeah, super fun. Love the new Mario Party. Are you liking this one? Do you think it's better than Super?
To be honest with you, how do I say this without sounding totally ignorant? I think that if you put both games in at the same time and just went from like just the board game itself to another one, I'm not sure I could tell you the difference. Like you could probably trick me if you're just like in the middle of a game from Super Mario Party and you went like, here's Mario Party All-Stars. I'm like, okay, probably. But I like it. Like I like it a lot, and there's a ton to do and a ton to play, and my kids like it. So I don't have like a critical sort of like essay to be said about this one. I'm not sure if it deserves it either, but I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah, I think they can both exist on the system. I mean, they graphically look very similar for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like how deep into it can you get. Like you can play this one, I think, a lot more mini games, more ways to play it. I want to test out the multiplayer though, man. I want to get on a stream and jump on with other people.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know when you do that, because I'll hop in. Yeah, the online for this one works way better.
Does it really? Yeah, yes. I gave up. I think I had one match that didn't go so well, and I was like, oh, there's that.
I was sort of expecting that. Because I was like, they added that in pretty recently, so I'm like, okay, they're probably not. It's probably the same. Like they were like, right. And then it worked here, so let's just patch it to the old one too. No, this is very different. It seems like it's using the better infrastructure that they used for like Monster Hunter and there were a couple other games that people were like, wow, the online's actually really good. Yeah, this is one of those games.
Yeah, 25 years after online gaming was sort of like mainstream. Here we are, Nintendo. We got there, everybody.
With
we started paying for it. That was the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. Yeah. We're paying for it. Micah, You want to go through what have you been playing lately, man?
Not too much new. I have been playing a little Jump King. Although the last time I played that, I made a lot of progress, and then I lost all of that progress and then some. And I'm pretty sure before I even finished hitting the ground, I was like, I think I'm done for today. And I haven't played it in like 5 days. So we'll see if I ever pick it back up. But it's for the most part pretty enjoyable.
Have you heard of Jump King, Sean?
No. I actually should Google this up.
I tried it for the first time this week. How about Getting Over It? The game with the guy in the pot that swings the hammer to climb
Sledgehammer.
the mountain.
No, you guys have got like hidden gems for me here, man.
Oh, these are really popular like meme games right now.
Oh.
Jump King especially. Jump King.
I'm so old, I don't even know what a meme game means.
Like they're just like
Just think of them as really terrible games.
they're like really popular streaming games because they're very frustrating. They're very challenging.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. Can't
So-
believe I missed these ones.
Jump King, I actually really am liking. I am having a good time
Oh,
with it.
for now.
For now, yeah.
As far as I've seen, you still haven't hit a point where you can really lose a lot of progress.
You
Like, real
jump
bad.
you jump up certain platforms controlling these kind of I don't know how to describe it. You have to hold the button.
You control strength by holding the jump button.
Yes, and then you kind of tilt the direction that you want to go to angle it, and you kind of have to time the button press and hit the angle just right to land on platforms. And if you fall, you have the potential of falling all the way back down to the very beginning. That
was rage-inducing.
It is very
Oh, it is.
rage-inducing.
It seems like all the parts where you can fall very far lead to another part where you can fall very far.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just,
It like
chain
funnels
these
you down.
failings, and it
you
sucks.
You can just watch as you miss a jump that seems like it should be pretty easy, and then you fall like hundreds and hundreds of feet and have to do all of that again. Oh,
Sounds like a metaphor for my life and all of my anxiety all wrapped up into one, man. If I miss one, I can fall far
Sean,
down.
There's a smoking hot babe at the top. That's
Yeah.
Oh, is that what we're after?
Yeah.
That's the title of the game. Is
Buried the lead, man. You buried the lead.
Jump King. There's a smoking hot babe at the top. Literally the title of the game. You're like, man, they know how to get
It's
you.
the only thing that's kept me going. The only thing.
This is the babe at the top.
I got to get to that smoking hot babe.
I promise this is a family-friendly show, guys.
You warned me about it, man. I'm behaving myself.
But I really am enjoying it. It's fun. I like the challenge. I like games that are punishing, I guess. It's just
There's a sense of accomplishment.
yeah.
That's nice.
Sense of accomplishment.
I don't get it throughout the rest of my life, so I need to play games like this to feel that.
Amazing. I hope it's Babe the Pig, Johnny in the chat.
Well, I've probably Babe the Pig turned in some bacon to get that smoking effect.
Oh man, that would be great. Hambone Johnny, very on brand for Hambone.
Yep, some smoked pig.
Yeah, so played Jump King. Also have been playing some Animal Crossing. I am working really hard to get up to the DLC because I started over on my OLED.
Oh, wow.
And I'm working right now to try and please Isabel to give us the 4 stars so that KK Slider will come to my island. That's all I have left to do. It's hard.
That's all of it? That's the entire thing. Isn't it 3 is it 3 stars or 4 stars?
It's 3 stars.
Yeah, you're good with 3. See, I know what I'm talking about. Animal Crossing people. I've been there. I played it. I got credits.
Yeah,
I want credits on Animal Crossing.
Kato might still be in the chat, so she'll post it there that she's proud.
I know
of you.
she'll call me out. I'm just
I'm so proud
every
of
now
you,
and then
Sean.
when I'm live, I throw out something out there like to lure certain people out and just to see if they're lurking. And that's a bit of a bait for Kato. So we'll see if it works.
So Animal Crossing is super fun. The stretching is unlocked, and I have done the stretching.
That's amazing.
I love the stretching. It's actually a pretty good stretch if you use the motion controls. And the buttons
Good
are
for you.
confusing. Don't do the button control stretching. It's so weird. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we have in chat here. I gotta point this out. TPR. This
There it is.
Kato
Yeah,
and Ryan look different, Sean. I want to know which one of us is Ryan and which one of us is Kato in this situation.
I won't do that to either of them.
Wow. Okay.
Them being us or them? I mean,
I don't know.
Well, you decide.
Oh, we have a good time here. On Nintendo Pals. And then I also have been playing Wind Waker HD. Wind Waker for the first time. I have not played Wind Waker before, ever. And
you're ready to admit that Wind Waker is better than Ocarina of Time.
I am not ready to admit that. No.
Just because you're being stubborn. Oh,
What do you think of that guy? This is from the Wii U Wind Waker HD
For
that
audio.
I wasn't able to play because it doesn't have inverted controls. Hey, Ryan Turford's in the chat too. Look at that. And they're both here.
For those listening to the audio, he's showing us he's got a nice little figurine for Ganondorf, Wind Waker.
Yeah. He's awesome. He came with the Wii U Collector's Edition game. It's pretty like this is maybe just around the time they introduced Amiibo. So this is not an Amiibo. It's just a little statue.
It's
Very
super
cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah. He's holding swords that are sort of like bent though. Like they're not really.
They're a little flimsy.
Yeah,
They're a little flimsy.
that happens when they're like these like thin plastic swords on figures. Yeah.
If it gets a little too warm, they start to bend.
This is why he can never beat Link because his swords actually didn't do any damage. They're just flimsy. They just look like they're intimidating.
Like pool noodles.
Exactly.
Just
He's flopping around with his pool noodles. Mm-hmm.
It is a Wind Waker. There's a lot of water.
I mean,
pool noodles are.
Can you imagine the surprise?
Amazing.
You're Link. You think you're about to get like decapitated or something, and then you just get like slapped in the face by a
Bob.
Boop, right on the nose.
What?
Pop.
Oh man, so I did my second stream of this game because I decided I would stream it, and the first stream, I'd say I enjoyed myself. The second stream, I'm hooked. Like Wind Waker's so good, and I'm having a lot more fun with it. I guess the first time, it's like learning the controls, trying to get a grip of what's going on, and the second time, it's like sneaking onto the pirate ship, finding the great fairy fountains. Going through, using the flying leaf. There's so many things in here that I'm like, why were these dropped until Breath of the Wild? Like, what happened between here and Breath of the Wild that we lost? Like, free camera movement and gliding?
Yeah, that one makes no sense to me. Like, it's so necessary.
Well, it's because the Wii didn't really have the, like, dual joystick kind of setup,
That's true.
But yeah, man, Wind Waker is ahead of its time for sure as far as Zelda games go.
I kind of wish they got rid of the free look on Wind Waker because it doesn't have inverted controls and I can't play it. I haven't gotten off the island. Like I haven't gotten off the boat. I find like
wait, Sean, have you played
bought
Breath
the
of
game.
the Wild?
I'm sorry, Wind Waker. What did I say? Did I say Breath of the Wild?
But Breath of the Wild doesn't have inverted controls.
Yes, it does. I could totally play Breath of the Wild.
You can change it to inverted?
Yeah. I feel like I should bust it out right now just to be sure I'm not a liar.
That seems wrong.
What do you mean
You
seems
playing it and
wrong?
realize you can't.
It just doesn't feel right.
Inverted controls are only for when you're flying a plane. That's it. You're flying something, inverted controls. Other than that, what's wrong with you?
It's not a choice, is what I like to say.
Wow,
it's not,
Ryan Turford's confirming in chat. He says that it is possible to do, and I had no idea this was a thing. And I didn't know there was like
a choice. You're just born liking inverted controls or not liking them.
It's not liking.
You feel very
Is this a
strongly
Canada
about it.
thing? Is this a Canada thing?
It's not a Canada thing. It's an old man thing. Because back in the day, that was your only choice. It was inverted was normal. At a certain point, maybe in the summer of 1997, inverted became inverted. But at a certain point, inverted was the default.
What has happened to this podcast?
It was just verted.
I didn't realize we were going to be getting into some such controversial topics here. This is crazy.
Well, I think the thing is that kind of triggers me a little bit is that like you prefer to play inverted. It's like I don't prefer anything. It's just that this is the way that it makes sense in my brain. It's like it's not it's not a choice. It's not like this feels better. It's my brain can't look up to go up. You know what I mean? Like it's the camera on a stick thing. You pull up to look up. You pull back to look up.
Have you tried just like turning your TV upside down or something?
That's something that an ableist like you would say. Like some of us just play differently.
Yeah,
and that's
I had no idea. I feel so uninformed. Like like I just learned that
Well, about which part that you can play inverted in, or that people do in general play inverted?
both of those things. Both of those things.
Oh, wow.
I knew people played inverted controls, but not for Breath of the Wild. I had no idea.
Everything.
Wow, everything. It's just it made sense to me for Star Fox. Okay,
Sure.
I'm like, okay, I get it for
Yeah.
Star Fox, but a game where
See, and that's the default, right? Is inverted like that's just the way Star Fox controls, right? You don't have to go in there and set it or anything. So that was just it. Like we had a lot of those games growing up. Was a lot of like flight simulator types of things. Like we played like X-Wing on PC back in 1993 or whatever it was. Like we had a lot of those games that was just inverted. And like when I was first learning how to play games like Doom or Wolfenstein, there wasn't even, you didn't look up or down. You just used the keyboard and went left to right. Like up was like to go forward and backwards to go back. Like you didn't look around. You didn't have a mouse or anything. So the first couple things that we were playing were mostly like X-Wing and games like that, like Rogue Squadron and stuff. And a lot of times we played on a joystick. So you just, we kind of just learned that way.
Man, this has blown my mind a lot, actually. This is cool. I didn't realize that, like, I just didn't realize, because I
get cultured, Andros. Like, come on, man.
Here's my thing: is I'm a Nintendo only user, always Nintendo, and besides Star Fox, I can't think of any of
Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings definitely would have been inverted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. But those are planes. It's all planes.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah. If you're flying, you can use inverted.
Shadows
controls.
of the Empire was inverted for the plane, but I don't think for the camera. For like the
I'd have to go back and look.
And that doesn't make any sense at all. Now that I think about it, like let's switch those up. I
mean, yes. I just thought of a new like business opportunity. We just need to make these like therapy centers. I don't know what to call them, where it just like conditions people to get with the times and play inverted controls.
Sounds like you're wanting to send me to like a conversion camp, and I think I'm just going to draw the line right there. Okay, I think we're just not going to go any further.
It's just therapy and conditioning.
Conversion therapy is not an okay thing to talk about. Stuff. I don't think this is okay.
I like the term though that we're switching from inverted to verted controls.
Verted, yeah. Do you play inverted or verted?
I play verted.
Oh, that's disgusting! I can't believe you play verted.
Let's vert this conversation and head on over to the next section of our show, and let's talk some Nintendo news. So there's actually quite a bit of news to talk this week. Surprisingly, because last week was just piled high with news. So first off, real quick, wanted to point out here that Mario All-Stars has been updated to support the N64 NSO controller for Mario 64, which is neat. Sean, did you pick up one of these controllers? I can't remember.
I am holding out hope that they will come out with the green, the blue, the red, the yellow, the black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want those colors.
And do you want the transparent plastics? Those are
the bomb. I was born in the early '80s, so the ones that tickle my nostalgia are the hard color. And it was the same thing with the Game Boys as well. My first Game Boy, the brick version, I never had a gray brick version. I had a green one. That's the color. That's right there. It's the same green as your N64 controller. It's beautiful.
I've got that solid green. This was my go-to. Love the green.
Yeah. They had the best colors, man. So I'm kind of holding out hope. It's kind of expensive as well, to be honest. And I also, I got to give a shout out to Justin Masson, because he kind of he highlighted something that I've been a little fanboyish, I will say, about this whole NSO plus expansion pack kind of thing, where I'm like, just buy it. It's great to have these games. I'm happy to be I'm not questioning anything. And then Justin Masson goes here's the deal. You play Star Fox and the controls are mapped in a really weird way on a Pro controller. You can't remap them at all. You can't change them at all. It is what it is. And oh, by the way, if you want to play it and it feels good, spend $50 on this controller. I'm like, that does seem a little manipulative, Nintendo. You've basically given me a crappy way to play these games, the way that the buttons are mapped, and the only other option, not a button remapping, is to go spend money on these other controllers. But with that said, I'm still tempted, because I do want to play these games, and the way they've got it now is not the best, and maybe they'll give me my colors one too. We'll see.
So I personally haven't noticed too much of a problem with the mapping for me, but I haven't dove too much into.
Did you do Star Fox? Star Fox is the one that really broke my brain.
I did, but only versus with Micah. We did that.
Versus?
versus. That's so fun as well. Oh man.
I always have to do that.
Yeah,
Either battle.
there's like
versus.
a weird left
Yeah.
and right trigger thing going on.
Totally.
in
Yes.
Skybox.
One is
That
like a
was- that was
trigger, and one is the
weird.
bumper. Like,
Yeah.
don't
It
like it,
doesn't
man.
make
And then
sense.
they could have just done like the C buttons could have just been the right thumbstick.
should
That would have been
just-
fine.
You should just sell an attachment. It's a clip-on that adds a third arm
Stop.
to the middle of your
It's all
Pro
you need.
controller.
All you need.
Back in the early days of the Switch, and I was podcasting with Bobby Pauls, the Nintendo guru, we really thought that like the Joy-Cons are the Joy-Cons, but we really thought that you'd get different attachments depending on the virtual console games that we assumed that would be coming out. We thought you'd get a left and right half of a Super Nintendo controller or even an N64 controller, but
Yeah.
this is probably better. This is probably better than just like, how do you even split an N64 controller that way? You know, put the middle and the left on the left side, maybe, I guess that might be but it's too bulky. This is probably fine.
Yeah.
It's $50. Did you say you got one? I'm not gonna get one.
I didn't get one, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for the N64, but didn't feel like I wanted this again. Like this didn't make any sense to me then. And it doesn't make any sense now. It's just so weird. 3 prongs, buttons, like I don't know.
It's so funny. I know that that's the common, and I'm not trying to be a contrarian about this, but like it never occurred to me that was weird. It just seemed like, well, I guess this is for like 3D games. This is how we're gonna play it now.
We're gonna have
like,
a third arm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like
One arm for each dimension.
Yeah,
The game
yeah.
is.
I just felt like it was just options. You know, just like you could do it never confused me. It was like if I'm playing like a fighting game like Killer Instinct Gold, then I've got my hand on the D-pad over there. But for the most part, I've got the thing that people don't really talk about that is actually the brain breaking part is like the inversion of left to right. When after 64, we went to like the left thumb and the right thumb did different things. Whereas back in those days, like your thumb, which is your left hand, moved the character. Where now, like I'm pretty sure this is the case. Now it looks. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like,
I think we still move the character.
everybody's grabbing a controller right now. Like, wait a second,
wait,
what?
wait.
Yeah, I
How do
gotta
I
get a
do
controller to test this.
So this sort of came to light to me because I was playing Dreamcast at my parents' house. We dug up our old Dreamcast one time, like last Christmas, I think it was, and I broke my brain. I was playing like MDK2, and it's like, oh, this is moving the character, and I don't think that's what happens now. It's reversed.
So here's a question for you, Sean, and for you, Micah. What is your favorite game controller? I mean, like, out of everything that you used.
Ooh. I'll say the Microsoft Sidewinder for PC. No, I think the Super Nintendo controller might be the best one that's ever been made. Like I think
I do like the Super Nintendo controller a lot. Yeah.
it is pretty. And then I know I'm going to sound like a fanboy, but I think the Xbox controller is also it's right there with the Pro controller.
Classic.
Yeah.
The only thing holding the Pro controller back is that it doesn't have a headphone jack on it. But otherwise, it's basically the same design. But the battery life on it is spectacular, and the
They have
feel of it
pressure
is so
sensor
close
triggers as well, which I like on
Xbox.
On Xbox.
Yeah. But I'm not a GameCube person. But I do
You're
feel.
just having all the wrong opinions. We're not inviting you back onto this.
I know. At least I'm
You
honest.
are.
At least I'm honest, man. Yeah, you guys can like your weird.
Micah,
you're saying, like,
wait,
you're
Micah,
saying
are
the
you gonna
64
say-
controller's weird, and you look at the GameCube controller. Like, that's the one.
And Andros said it was weird. I just want to point that. I honestly, back in the day,
fair.
I was like, I never used that left prong. And I did think it was
Right.
kind of weird, but I almost exclusively use the D-pad when I'm playing old school platformers.
Yeah.
So if I was like using that nowadays, I would probably use that left prong for the D-pad.
Yeah.
It kills your thumb though. Like that was the thing. Like that you built up some serious calluses with that thing because it was so like it protruded so high. You know, the 60 or the Super Nintendo, we played a lot of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and things like that. You do the Hadouken kind of like quarter turn, and it was beautiful on your
And I
thumb.
love the buttons. The buttons feel good on the Super Nintendo for sure.
And sometimes when you're playing like a kind of an intense game, you grip it and you kind of twist. You can feel it kind of bend a little bit, like you're just pushing it just to the edge. That Super Nintendo controller is really really good. Thank you, Johnny. GameCube controller is weird.
I just want to say, why is the A button so big? Because it's the most important button.
That's so dumb.
Micah, so is your favorite GameCube? Is that what you're gonna say?
Oh, of course. Mostly because the triggers. They got that little second click.
They
The
do
second
feel
click
good.
is so
I do like the
good.
feel of those triggers.
Those triggers
And
think
They
too highly of
they
themselves.
only have one trigger though.
How?
Don't they?
I mean, they only have one bumper.
Oh yeah. Okay, one bumper.
I mean, the Desert Storm. I don't know if anyone's ever played that game. It's like some
course.
random game I got in a bargain bin, and it turned out to be fantastic. They have like variable zooms with snipers, and they use that second click so well because you zoom in by pressing it down, and then that you just click it again to switch between them, and it is so much better than like any other zooming mechanic I've ever played with.
Man,
So the curve is a little aggressive. First, I have a couple issues, okay, with the GameCube controller. I have a few. The C stick, not a good idea.
that needs to be a full. That needs to be a full-on joystick. It's
just give me a thumbstick. Just give me a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to just.
I mean,
it's too much of a carry.
essentially it's
The
just
C buttons.
it's
Yeah,
too
no, I don't
small.
know.
it's just a little smaller.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like
Like
the
they
smallness
even
of
could
that.
have sold me for $15, like something that like attaches onto it to make it more like a
full size.
thumbstick. Yeah. So the trigger on the back, it's so curved that I couldn't get my thumb out of it. Once it's in there, it is stuck. You got to like go around. You're like in this deep valley
Hey,
that
your
it's created
thumb.
for you. Your finger. I'm talking fast.
Oh yeah, I was like, how are you holding this?
I
No
play,
wonder
like-
you don't like it. No
Exactly. Like, how are
wonder.
you supposed to hold this thing upside down with your feet? Like basically anytime you see on TV people playing video games, I play it like that. Like just tapping away. Trigger, get my finger stuck in there. Don't like it. And probably my biggest issue with the GameCube controller is actually just the way that it's represented on screen when you have like the button prompts. It would say like press X to do this. And it's sort of like the little bean because it would show like the actual shape of the button. Just give me a circle with a letter in it. Don't give me like the bean shape of the button that's on the GameCube controller. Come on, Nintendo, that was too much. You went too far. You played yourself. You need to jump over to the Wii to get straightened out, okay?
This feels even better than I remember it.
I'm gonna say my favorite is probably just the Switch Pro controller. I think that's my favorite one. But with the Xbox being close, the latest, I guess the Xbox Series XS
Nailed it.
version controller. I don't know what they don't have names for their controllers like everybody else does. They're just like, this is the Xbox controller.
This is the controller you use with the Xbox. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Is it-
I got
Did they-
an Xbox One controller, but I always have problems with my bumpers. It's like not working right. I don't know if that's just me, and I've only had the one.
You're probably holding it wrong.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, are you holding
Got
it?
it.
Like- Yeah,
With the thumbs.
yeah.
Only with the thumbs. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So N64 NSO controller, get yours next year when they're back in stock. Next news item we have here is Niantic, who is the minds behind games like Pokemon Go, Pikmin Bloom, Ingress, I think is their homegrown one. They're releasing a toolkit for developers to make games similar to their apps, to be able to access some of their resources. I don't know all that the toolkit includes, but the goal is for developers to be able to make more apps to be a part of their AR metaverse. He's using some buzzwords.
This is too much. The metaverse has got to stop. We have an opportunity here before it gets too carried away. We can stop this now.
Yeah. I'm for that. I'm for that. Let's not get crazy here. But it is cool that this toolkit exists. As a software guy myself, I think it's really neat that they're putting out resources that will help make development easier for smaller companies. So we could see someone make like Pokemon Go, but with more RPG elements to it, and like a turn-based battle system instead of what they've done and decided to go with for Pokemon Go, which is fun. It's just, there's more ideas you can do, and I'm always a fan of when companies decide to kind of open the doors and go, this is what we've done, and we've been really successful with this. So what can you guys do with this? Like modding communities all over have done so much cool stuff with games from companies that have just kind of opened the doors to code. Like that's really cool.
Well, the bones of their games are made to make money. And so there must be some sort of like feedback. If anybody else makes a game using their engine or whatever, it's a lot like what Epic does with the Unreal Engine. Like people can use it for free. And then when it hits a certain threshold, I think it is, and then the kickbacks start going along. So yeah, like to make games that are based in the real world, like that seems like that's where a lot of games are going. And they're just kind of like, they don't have necessarily the resources to make the next Pokemon Go. But, maybe somebody else will make the next Digimon Go. Or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go. I don't know.
Yu-Gi-Go.
Yu-Gi.
Oh, yes.
Just wait for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see like Ghostbusters go. That'd be what I like to like. You kind of like walking around, and there's different ghosts you can go trap and stuff. You get all your friends. You don't cross the streams. Yeah. Look at that. Right off the top of my tired old man head. Look at that. I didn't even have the notes for this show. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about.
Well, let's move right along here with the notes. The next story we have here, we're talking Black Friday deals. So, Nintendo has announced what they're going to be doing for Black Friday, and we are getting, you won't believe this, but we're getting the Switch plus Mario Kart for $2.99.
No way.
Yeah, it's the same bundle they've done for every Black Friday since they've been doing Black Friday bundles. But this one does include the revision model of the Switch with the better battery. Mm-hmm. It is not the OLED. They're not doing anything special for that. Those are selling regardless, so they don't need to do anything special for that. But Mario Kart 8 is going to get another boost in sales through these bundles. And along with that, discounting games, a lot of first-party games down to $40 from the regular $60, and that includes Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Maker 2, Paper Mario The Origami King, Kirby Star Allies, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And that's it. That's it for the first party. And those are all going to be...
Everything else is full price.
Yeah, everything else is full price. Those are all going to be $39.99. And there are two other specialty ones. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit's going to be discounted from $100 to $60. And Ring Fit Adventure is going to drop to $54.99. And
that's crazy.
It is regularly $80, y'all. So down to less than the price of a full price Switch game. So can I just say, out of all of these things on here, go buy Ring Fit Adventure for $55. Do it. Your body will thank you.
My hips can't handle it. It makes me do all those crunches. I can't do crunches with my hips these days. It's just not good, man.
The game is so good, though. It is so good. Best fitness game ever, my opinion. You haven't played it. Get out of here, Micah.
Well, I have played it. What are you talking about?
No, Micah's shaking his head.
Sean, you haven't even played it.
Micah's
I played it. I
Micah's
sold
like,
it.
No. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You what? Whoa. Did you beat it?
No, he told me to start making shakes and stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm not a good RPG player. I'm already having a hard enough time figuring out how to do these sit-ups and whatever.
I'm just here to work out.
I'm just I can't.
Toss this one over to Ryan Turford with the RPG Cave.
Exactly. We probably could at least tag team it. I need a consultant or something while I'm playing this game.
Oh, it is so good. And I learned today, I was listening to a podcast, there's a new game plus at the end of this that I haven't got to because I don't play enough as much as I should. And after that, there's a new game plus.
Yeah, I was playing it in here. I was playing it in this room. I wasn't setting myself up for success. There's not a lot of space in here. I'm sitting on the ground. I'm doing this thing. I'm running around, and I also don't think that I like running on the spot. I don't think that. I think
Running
that's a big problem for me. I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
I can run I've run, and not right now because I'm horribly out of shape as we're talking right now. But I have run a couple of long distance runs in my life. It's not like running is out of my possibilities for me. Running in place, no good.
What do you consider a long distance?
I've done a half marathon. I've done a couple 10Ks.
That's pretty good.
I've done okay.
Long distance. I'm anything over a mile. That's pretty long for me. So.
Yeah, like I could do
anything
that.
over the distance from here to my fridge is a long distance. For
These
me.
days, I'm with you guys.
But this game is I seriously can't recommend it enough. I love Ring Fit Adventure.
It is very good, and I should say I sold it at a time where I then moved on from Ring Fit to like carry on with other fitness stuff. Like it got me going, it got me moving at a time when I was having a lot of trouble doing that. So from that perspective, I highly, highly recommend it. If like you just don't know what to do, if you're like frustrated and you're just like I got to get moving, like it got me moving, and then it got me there to the point where I'm like, okay, I think I can stop playing this game, and I'm gonna go do some other stuff that I remember from when I was actually fit as a young man.
Question for you, Sean. Did you pick up Mario Kart Live?
No, but at that price, it's pretty tempting because I feel like I need two, like with the two kids that I have, and so like it was pretty like price prohibitive before, like because I wanted the two of them. But what did you say, $60 now down to like
that one's going to be down to 60 from 100 is what it was.
Yeah.
Priced. And I did buy one, and I'm on the fence on recommending it even at $60.
Oh, really?
Now, here's the thing. I think it's a fantastic game, but your kids have to be the right age for it because there's a lot of setup that goes into it.
Yeah.
And in order to play it, at least for my kids who are 4 and under,
yeah, same.
It required a little bit too much of my help to get it going.
Too much parenting. I understand.
Yeah, I didn't want to parent. Like that's too much work.
That's why you got it.
It's
you alone. Play some games.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it works really good when it works really good, but then you have to have the Switch at a certain distance. My living room ended up being too big for where my Switch was, so it kept losing connection. It's super cool. It's my dream toy from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like I honestly haven't picked it up too much since the first couple months.
Very expensive novelty.
Yes. It's really cool looking on our shelf. I'll say that. It looks like that guy spent too much money. That's what that shows on our shelf.
And that was the thing that I was thinking when it got announced last year, was like, that looks awesome. That seems like something I would want, but my kids are just a little too young to even buy a gift that expensive, like period. Like even if it was perfect for them, I feel like that was just kind of more than we would want to spend. We get everything from like upcycle groups from Facebook and stuff. Like people just give stuff away. We get those are the things that my kids get.
I mean, depending on the kid, you can give them like a steak of hours of entertainment.
Totally, you say that jokingly. It's absolutely true. Give them a box.
So for me, recommending this game, I think if your kids are like age 7-ish and up, they're at that point where they creatively can make their own tracks. And they're gonna have a blast with it, and they're gonna be able to handle the controls. It does have like auto stay on the track, but that doesn't work super great all the time. So that was another problem, was the controls were a little hard for my kids to get the hang of. I had a blast with it myself, but it was more novel. I think if I was 7 years old, I would like it a ton. I would have just been playing this like every day. Make a new track with Legos. Make a new track with blocks. Like there's so much you can do with it. Yeah.
And that's why I hope they keep selling it, or maybe even have another iteration of it next year or something like that. Because like my kids, they have to be just a little bit older, because I want to build it right with them. Like I want to do that creativity with them. My wife is big into like cricket and crafting and everything. Like we could do some really awesome, because that perspective is really cool. To have like a camera running around like on the ground is pretty awesome. You can do a whole like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of feel to it. So you don't often get to experience your house from like a mouse's or a worm's eye view, I guess it would be.
So I'm like, I don't have like a fun way to transition this here. Guys, did you hear that that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are going to be getting a massive day 1 update and patch?
Yeah, this is news in Nintendo land, I guess, right? Is that the deal? Like that games get day 1 patches?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was like, someone posted this in Discord. I believe it was Brian Eck, who's a listener of your show.
He's all over it.
Yeah. And he was like, "Is this normal?" And I was like, I think so. I can't recall any first-party Nintendo games having a huge day 1 update.
Yeah.
But it's pretty normal in game industry around, like,
Pretty much everywhere
worldwide.
else.
Yeah, everywhere else. It's very normal. But this one, a lot of people are disappointed by because it includes a lot of the key features aren't going to be there, and people are going like, "Well, why am I even buying the physical cartridge for this game if it's all if half the game is on this digital download?" I don't know. I don't really have an opinion that's like I don't have a hard opinion one way or another on this one. Sean, it sounds like you kind of are like, doesn't bother you.
No, but I guess the one thing, and it's a good standard to have, to not want a day one patch, because that means that you want to be able to bring the game home and put it in your system and play the game, which is awesome. And I'm often, nicely surprised when I bring home like Metroid Dread and it's like, oh, I can just play it. Like, okay, that sounds great to me, because I am very, very used to downloading a gigantic either patch or just the game itself. Because oddly enough, Switch is one of the only systems I still buy physical games for, because it's just that much easier for me to share across the different Switches in our house. And so to pop in a cartridge and just play it, like it is nice. So I don't want to begrudge anybody for, taking umbrance with this sort of thing. But I am very used to downloading the thing. But in terms of like as a principled type of deal, I don't know that I hold like developers accountable, or I don't hold anything against the developers for designing it in this way, that a patch was going to make it playable on day one. That's okay to me, but I don't know. I shouldn't laugh at other people taking an issue with it, but
it would be different if it was coming out the next day, not day one. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if it's out day one, you're gonna have it and you're gonna be playing the full game. So
it basically means that it's probably unplayable, like just out of the cart, which is, again, that's probably where people are coming to this issue with, is like, I want to be able to play without having to download something, or if you have slower internet, like that becomes an issue for you as well, in which case, or any game that like is a gift. Like that, we're going to come up on Christmas time here, where the advice is going to go out, if you're buying your kid an Xbox or a Nintendo or something, like take it out of the box, fire it up, like get all the updates and everything kind of done, get your registration and everything set up.
Yep.
That's a part of gaming now, unfortunately, and it wasn't always the case. You put the GoldenEye cartridge in the thing and you play GoldenEye. That was basically it. But yeah, this is normal everywhere else, and not saying that makes it better, but I'm just used to it at this stage.
Micah, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't like big day one updates. They're generally not that big of a deal, but I mostly just don't like the principle. Or sometimes the games have like these like massive, they're like 15 gigabyte day one patch, and you're like, I don't have that much memory for these things.
That's the other thing. Yeah,
and
Switch is different
I
that way.
don't like that. But I mean, it's generally not that big of a deal. It's mostly a minor nuisance, but at the same time,
did it say how much it is? Did it say how big this one is?
No,
I haven't seen.
So it's just rumors at this point that it probably is.
It's not exactly rumors. I think there is a. I just don't know off the top of my head how big it is, because a lot of people have already downloaded this game. It's been like really
how
broken,
dare they?
Really broken. Like, people are playing it, and they're the ones that are complaining that, it has to have day one patches to play. Like, you're
the people who
playing
stole
it illegally. That's
Yeah.
why it's not working. Oh my goodness.
It's kind of like the greatest bait out there, isn't it? Like, put it out there, see who complains about it being broken. You're like, yeah, legal. That's the illegal version. There's lots of examples out there of developers putting something out there where it's like they know if you're playing the stolen version, because I don't know, like a wall on a building is purple instead of blue or whatever. Like, they've got like signs out there so you can kind of spot them a little bit easier. I think that stuff is fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
From just a quick Google search, it looks like it might be 3 gigabytes. The update.
Oh, okay.
That's humongous.
The game itself is apparently like only 8. So I mean, that's almost half.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't want to be.
Tiny.
I just don't want to be playing like one of these 100 gigabyte games coming out, and they're like, yeah, you can buy the physical, but also you got to download this 50 gigabyte day one.
Yeah. Seriously.
Patch.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get to that point, at least.
if you are watching this on Twitch, drop us a follow. We are speed running our way up to 200 followers on Twitch, trying to get up those numbers. And guess what? You can now do that from your Switch because the Twitch the Twitch is coming to the Switch. I'm
really proud of that one.
I'm not. No, no, I'm not. I'm not proud of it. Not proud. But definitely check out Nintendo_Pals on your Switch. We're officially on the Switch. You can listen to podcasts on your Switch that aren't on YouTube already, but you can already listen to them live on Twitch. Oh man, what a cool thing. I was pretty excited about this. It felt so out of the blue. Like, hey, here's an app. You know, and Twitch, okay, sure.
I was like, yeah, did anyone like ask for this? I don't know.
I think more people were asking for like Netflix, Hulu, those kinds of services. But Twitch, I guess, yeah, there you go. You get that one.
I like the days when Nintendo was stubborn and didn't put any of these apps on the thing. They're just like, it's a video game thing. You have other stuff for the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I was actually kind of wondering if they would allow streaming from the Switch to Twitch, but that must take some sort of extra horsepower. That's just not really possible.
Wouldn't that be cool though? That would be a really neat thing to do.
It'd be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially, yeah. But I mean, Nintendo already has kind of a funny relationship with streaming as it is. So the fact that they even have this app coming, there must be some sort of partnership between Nintendo and Twitch. I'm not sure who initiates these sorts of things. But I thought I heard some people taking kind of issue with you can't chat from the Switch on Twitch. It's really breaking my brain.
I did,
and
see
I
that.
don't understand why you would want to. Why would you want to be on your Switch, watching Twitch, and want to like chat? How are you supposed to chat? You know what I'm saying? Like you're using like the virtual keyboard kind of thing, like with the D-pad, and you're going from A to whatever letter. Like, that doesn't sound like a good experience to me at all.
If it's docked, you could actually plug in a USB keyboard and go that
sure,
route, which would be pretty cool.
That sounds like a Nintendo thing to do. Sounds like mouse and keyboard access.
Please buy our
Nintendo.
new Nintendo brand wired keyboard.
Your Fisher-Price thing. But I think that the solution is some sort of like it connects to your phone, but like you scan like a QR code and then you can log it on your phone, you chat from there or something, or you just watch on your phone with Twitch.
On your phone at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's fine. Like, and I think that's totally fine. You know, like just have it up on your screen and then use whatever device you have sitting on your lap or your laptop or your phone and just chat that way. I don't understand. And I'm kind of like putting it out there because I'm hoping somebody will educate me on this, like why you'd want to do that and that would actually be a decent experience. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's cool that there's like an extra option to do that, but I probably won't use Twitch on my Switch too much. Let us know if you're listening to this or watching this on your Switch. Kudos to you. Okay, back to the news. Back to the news, guys. So, Nintendo sold 711,000 Switch consoles in the US during October, with 314,000 of those being the recently released OLED model. Here's a quote from our good friend of the show, Doug Bowser. He says, October this year is only 3% lower than what was sold last year, which I think what we all can agree was a bit of an anomaly year when it comes to overall hardware sales. So we think this is a solid start for the OLED model. We also think this is a very strong indicator of the performance we can expect as we go through the holiday season. Nintendo's going to kill it this holiday season, guys. I mean, Sean, you've talked these numbers on Nintendo Drive. You've talked about how like they're set up for just a winning holiday. Like they've got this Black Friday bundle coming in, and then you got Christmas coming up, and the OLED models like going strong. I mean, I can definitely, me personally, I can see us hitting past the 100 million unit just this year.
Oh, definitely within the fiscal year. It's kind of mind-boggling because I don't know that if you look at the lineup this year, if you told me at the beginning of the year that this was going to be a year that propelled Nintendo past the Wii in terms of sales and well beyond software sales and everything, I don't know that I would have agreed. But at the same time, like, it's kind of inexplicable at this point. Like, We don't even have an Animal Crossing. We got Mario Golf, which was a bit of a flop. We got especially before it came out, I think the general opinion was that the Skyward Sword HD was not the Zelda that a lot of people were looking forward to. What ended up happening for me was I really, really enjoyed that. We got a new Mario Party game, which again, I don't know that I would have been like clamoring for, especially we got one in fairly recent memory, but I imagine we're going to find out that sold really, really well. Hardcore fans got what they wanted with Metroid Dread, which I think is great, but I don't know that we have like a major thing for holiday. So it's all like they continue to rewrite the playbook on what you need to do. You've got like Xbox over here going like, well, just please somebody come buy our boxes. We've got Halo, which is a gigantic deal. They got Forza, which is the best one that they've ever had. The biggest reasons you ever want to get into Game Pass. And Nintendo's like, we'll do another Mario Party. We'll remaster an old Zelda game from the late Wii days, and we'll maybe give some attention to a franchise we haven't done anything with for the last like 15 years. And that's where Nintendo is at, and it's all working. Whatever they do, it just works. People are buying it like crazy. They'll give us they'll tackle long rumors for a Switch Pro and satisfy people with not a Switch Pro but like an upgraded screen and a price tag that matches the other kind of next generation consoles. This is all backwards country, man. It doesn't make any sense. But people love Nintendo, and they're in a really, really good spot. So when I say, yeah, they're gonna keep flying, I'm not saying that it makes any sense. It's just they are. Right? Like they don't have like I don't know,
like pancakes.
Yeah, they don't really have a killer game coming out.
Right.
They've had a lot of just good games.
They're announcing that they're not doing anything more with Animal Crossing. They're announcing that they're not doing anything more with Smash. We're not getting another Mario Kart game because people keep buying the one for the Wii U. Like,
that's their own fault.
They can just do whatever they want. They can give us, whatever it is, 10 N64 games with a smattering of Sega games, and people like me will buy that too. And I don't know, dude. Like they are selling everything at this stage. They got every time they send out an amiibo, I'm buying that one. I'm spending maximum price on online subscriptions. So yeah, I'd like to see more, like, because I like when Nintendo really goes after it and gives us those big games. But here we are looking forward to, like, next year is really what I'm excited about. That's kind of when I talk about when they're really when they're looking good, is they actually had me interested in a Kirby game, which is bonkers. They've got Splatoon 3 coming out next year. They got a lot of stuff happening next year that I'm excited about. So when they do well and it's not a crazy kind of banger of a year, then it just goes to show what can happen, what is possible when they give us those big games too.
Yeah, next year is going to be absolutely nuts. There's so many games coming out that I want. I keep forgetting there's a new Ninja Turtles game coming out next year.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, it looks so good.
I got 3D Kirby. Pokemon Legends, as Napsy's pointing out in the chat. Man, and Splatoon. Yeah, there's just so much, and it's like my wallet is just dreading next year. Just dreading it. It's like I'm dead. That's what it says. Well, if your wallet is feeling a little dead, there is a free game trial out right now for The World Ends With You Final Remix. So if you are an NSO member, you can try out the free game, the game trial. And I've been liking these little trials they've been doing. They need to do more of them, I think. More, like, always have one going, I think would be a cool deal. Just like a week long. It's kind of Game Pass-like. It's just like a little baby Game Pass, It's
a new age demo, man. It's perfect. Yeah. I think the thing that is nice is it seems like it's being curated, this list, which I like a lot. Like, it's not just any game can do it. It seems like these are games that are, of a certain quality and of interest to people. So, yeah.
Yeah. As Napsy and chat's like, I haven't played that one. Maybe I'll try it out. That's exactly it. Like, well, it's free. I might as well try it out. And then if you like it, you'll buy it.
If you think your game is good, then I think having a demo is a great idea. If you don't think your game is so good, maybe don't. But I'm a big fan of demos.
Get the screenshots out and make those look really good. You know what? Which one needs it is Tetris Effect Connected needs it one of these like free play kind of weekends because that game is excellent. That game is so good. That could be like what you playing. That could be me. I could say that every single week. Like I basically kind of look over because I'm just always playing it. It's not like anything new or anything like that at this stage. But I've continued to play Tetris Effect Connected, and other people should play it too.
That does it for the news, guys. We've covered all the news.
I actually have one more little news thing that came out pretty recently, but it looks like Metroid Dread in October sold 854,000 units, which is, I believe, the best starting for a Metroid game ever. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's up past the million mark easily.
That might even be just physical too. I was looking at some NPD stuff, and I think it was like the physical stuff was I think double.
That's good.
I think so. Yeah, and so because I don't think Nintendo reports on digital stuff, which you could assume maybe as much as half of sales are digital, half are physical, perhaps. So pretty insane. Because I don't think 800,000. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think that's something to get excited about.
Yeah, it deserves it. It's a great game.
And Ryan in the chat says that number is U.S. only as well. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, yeah, it's even.
It's not even Canada.
Listen, Nintendo Drive is now like doing all the research for our show too. That's
Ryan's a fact checker. Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you're awesome. Thanks for being here. Let's move to the next segment of our show. I'm going to actually switch things around here because I know you've got to leave here pretty quick, Sean. But I want to try and get maybe a couple of these community questions in before.
Love it, man.
Before you go. So let's jump over to the community corner. And in today's community corner, we've got a whole bunch of questions. But let us know when you need to bail, Sean, because we'll just keep on trucking. We'll keep on driving. And as this was just a pit stop for the Nintendo Drive, as he
I like it. I like the car puns.
Heads to the next podcast. That's where you're going after this, right? From one podcast to another.
Mm-hmm. This is how I spend my Friday nights.
What a legend! What a legend! And we'll make sure to let you plug. Actually, before we do anything, because we're in the community corner, plug your stuff, Sean.
You've done enough. You can find me on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. And yeah, man, I'm on the Nintendo Drive and on the Xbox Drive. We the Gamercast, of course. I have Sweet Hangs with Strangers from the Internet. So lots of podcasts. You can pretty much, I think if you search my name in a podcast player, you probably find my stuff. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Sean Capri. Yes. It's fantastic stuff. I'm a big fan of the You, Me, Capri, everything. Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
It's all good stuff. So highly recommend it. You could check out We the Gamer. I was on that forever ago. Need to get back.
I know. That's why I was stumbling. I'm like, when the heck were you on? Yeah, absolutely.
I think I've had a new baby since then. That was like when I first moved into this house, which seems like eons ago.
That was like 2 microphones ago. For you. In
the podcast world, we measure things lengths of time in microphone upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so fun. All right, well, let's move to the first question here. I'm very interested to hear your guys' answers to this. Monkey Thunder asks, what's the longest game that you've ever played? Just story games. He's not counting games like Smash Bros. Or Animal Crossing that really don't have an end. Micah, do you want to start with this one?
How about you start? I was about to grab my Switch to check my time.
He's like, I've got to go look at my time. So for me, I'm fairly certain it is Divinity Original Sin 2 on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's hard to say how long the main game was because Micah and I played this multiplayer together, and we restarted like 4 times because they kept adding DLC. And it was like the DLC was for the beginning of the game, which we had already passed. And we're like, okay, well, we got to go back. And so.
Yeah. Plus, we just wanted to like try new
character
classes,
builds.
like character classes and things. So we started a lot because of that.
I would say it was over 100 hours, though, for the main game. Like for the game that we did from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the longest game I've ever played that isn't like. I don't know if you can count Breath of the Wild because the main game for me
like
the main game for me took like 70 hours, but I've put more than that in because I've played multiple times, done the DLC, I've done different challenge runs. So I have a lot of time in that one as well. You know, Mike, I was thinking about this question, and I think Gloomhaven, the digital board game that we just got, is probably going to take this someday because it's
Eventually,
so
once we
long.
finish it.
Yeah, there's like over 50 scenarios, and each scenario takes like 3 hours. Feels like it's not actually 3 hours; it's like 2 hours. But there's more than 50. There's like 100.
About an hour to an hour and a half if you're good at the game and know what you're doing. But for us, it sometimes takes about 2 hours.
While Mike is stalling here to get his best times up, Sean, what's your longest game you've ever played?
I think two things come to mind. I think Persona 4 Golden on the Vita comes up.
Persona's always up.
Clocking in somewhere around 100 hours, I think. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey, actually, was probably, especially in recent memory, I think I was up over 120 hours on that one. Like, I just completely obsessed. And that's very, very rare, especially these days, for me to spend that kind of time on something. But yeah, a lot of time spent on that one, dude. But games are kind of built that way now. Like, that's sort of become the model, to your point about Breath of the Wild. Like, a lot of games, even if they aren't multiplayer, a lot of games are built to keep you there for a long, long time. So I'd like to see even more of that, even from Nintendo these days. I need to pick up Smash. That was one thing I was mad that wasn't on sale. I want Smash to be discounted a little bit. It's still full price, dude.
Yeah, they definitely need to discount Smash Bros. At some point, or like a legendary edition with all.
That's
the
what I was
DLC.
Thinking. Other games have like a Game of the Year edition by this point in time, but like no, they're just gonna everything's full price and people are buying it. So I guess I can't fault them for it.
Yeah. So longest game you've ever played, Micah?
That's probably also Divinity 2. Probably be the longest. Besides that, Breath of the Wilds and Enter the Gungeon.
Nice. Wow.
Enter the Gungeon isn't a super story based. It's roguelike, but I guess like each character has their own little story that you can do.
Yeah, you have over 100 hours in that game.
Yeah, I think
that's
I have about
crazy.
120. Oh, I love that game. That game's so good. I like unlocked all the character stories, and there's like a couple extra bosses that you can do. But yeah, that one's a lot of fun. If you like roguelikes and like Bulletstorm type games, I can't recommend that one enough.
Yeah, it's super fun. So our next question here is from Brian Eck. And we'll give this one to Sean because I think he has to bail out here. So we'll get your answer to this question first. Would you say that gaming companies put less emphasis on having a big holiday lineup like they would in the past? Seems like February, March is becoming the new big release window in the recent years. Sony doesn't have a strong holiday lineup this year. Xbox has Halo. And Nintendo doesn't really have anything. They've got he puts the example here. Nintendo has really only one game with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but those are remakes. I wouldn't consider those the holiday game, you know.
Yeah, because it is the remake. It's not like a new Mario game. It's not like when Odyssey came out around the holiday season. Like it's yeah. I mean, for me it is, and actually for me, like thankfully that is the only thing coming out because I just don't think I can handle much more than that. But you're right, it doesn't have the same. It doesn't hit the same way. And Sony has been out of this game for a long time. Actually, it's been really interesting because I think like Call of Duty kind of does this thing. Like there's a Call of Duty effect, and also like Ubisoft generally has something. So like the third parties are really vying for everybody, and they're probably in the best situation to do that because they're not exclusives at all. They land with a big title that can be played across all these different platforms.
Right.
So it makes sense for that to be the case. But I don't know. It's interesting because I still would like to see Nintendo do this because I think that there's still a time in the year, like the holidays, where they wouldn't want to sell consoles. So they can sell games throughout the year. I think that's what everybody is discovering is that, yeah, February and March can be a thing. Even the fact that the Switch launched not on a holiday, it launched, what was it, March 3rd or March 4th or something like that? Like it's very, very different. So it's nice that we can see that you can be buying games and games can release across the calendar. But I don't know, maybe I'm just old like this. I would like to see all three just like vying for my holiday dollars in that way, and they've all kind of just like gotten out of the way, and then we just buy games for $20 off or a Mario Kart bundle for Nintendo. I guess that's just the lesson, is that they don't really have to. They don't have to compete that hard. But there's a lot of dollars at exchange around this time of year. Like, it's just wallets are open and people are buying stuff. And I think Nintendo and PlayStation has just shifted to go like, somebody else can make a game for this time. We want to stand out and be not on top of everything else. Like, there's big games coming out from all systems, all consoles, all developers and publishers all the time right now. So it is hard to keep track. You can really risk your big game being totally swallowed up by who knows what could be coming out at this time.
Do you think this has anything to do with, like you said, the swallow up and everything? Do you think this has anything to do with like fiscal year, like trying to hit those numbers? Because February, March is end of fiscal year, so they're trying to get into those to like hit the numbers. And then, like you said, they put most of the focus in the holiday on lowering the price of existing games for Black Friday, and through like all the extra sales. You know, it's like every week is a holiday after Black Friday. Oh, it's a Cyber Monday. It's Giving Thursday. It's you know, like it feels like there's just it's Amazon Day, and there's a sale on all these games. So they're pushing a lot of units out still, but not in like a one big game kind of thing. They save those for their own months now, it feels like.
I don't know if there's really a lot to be sort of like concluded from this year or last year. I think these are pretty weird years just overall. So maybe there's a trend that we're seeing here, and maybe just through the challenges that are happening with development and everything, that games are landing somewhere else and they seem to be working out okay. But I have to imagine that when we're back to normal, if that ever happens, that Nintendo will reclaim Christmas. Like, I really think that Nintendo and holiday seasons like kind of go hand in hand. I don't think that they want to. I think if they could have it another way, it wouldn't be like this. I think if they could have a game ready for this holiday season, they would go out and they would obliterate everybody else. I just don't think games are ready at the right time at this stage. And also this year, they don't really have to push for it either. They're the number one console selling like for whatever it was 36 months straight. Not even the new consoles could really dethrone them. So I don't think that they have to push for games to be landing, and I think they can save it for when they have to compete a little harder. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I think this is just a weird year that you don't really look to repeat for years on years. But it is nice because now you can have games come. It doesn't have to just be this. I think that's really the takeaway, is you can have games come out in February and in holiday, or June and holiday, instead of just October, November was when we were kids. That was the get, because that's how we bought games. I got a Christmas game for Christmas. Like that was my one game per year kind of thing, and a birthday thing. So
we're like learning you don't have to only buy games at Christmas. You can buy
exactly.
Year.
Yeah, it's true. Well, Sean, I don't want to keep you from your other commitment here, and it's past time. So thank you so much for hopping on and being on the show with us. Again, check out Sean Capri. Check out the Nintendo Drive with Sean Capri and Console Cato. They do a...
She's the reason to check it out, really. She's the best.
Console Cato is awesome. Yeah. So definitely check out those shows. If you're like Xbox Drive, man, you got everything. Sean's covering... I don't know how he...
The sickness.
He doesn't sleep, I'm assuming. I
have mental breakdowns periodically.
so much content and podcasting and gaming, and still an awesome dad. There you go.
Thanks,
there you
man.
go. That's my 5-star review of Sean Capri.
I appreciate it, dude. I'll tell my wife.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on, Sean. So, Micah, we'll swap on over to our regular setup here. We have a lot more questions to go through, Micah. And then I want to go back to the rumor mill, because we've got an exciting rumor for you, sir. A very exciting time. Yep, just for you.
Oh, I know a rumor. Oh yeah, it also shows it right here. I see. That's where I saw it from before in the notes.
Next question comes from Rizzle99. Or Rizzle29, not Rizzle99. I don't know why I read that wrong. Sorry, Rizzle. What is your go-to OST to listen to right now? Soundtrack, Micah. Music soundtrack. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah. You had to really think about that.
No, I knew.
Oh, you just don't have an answer. Okay, I was like,
I mean,
please tell me.
if I actually did have one, I do actually on occasion I bust out Golden Sun.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, the music in especially the first Golden Sun, probably the second one. I'm probably blurring them together. So good.
I have two go-tos for music at the moment. One is going to be Breath of the Wild, the soundtrack to Breath of the Wild. Always can go to that. It fits every single mood. It is the Jack Johnson of video game music. Jack Johnson you can listen to anytime, like that's my take on Jack Johnson.
Not gonna lie, I don't know who Jack Johnson is. So.
Yeah, he's the mellow guy. That's his music. So Breath of the Wild is just good for everything. It has a good mix of music.
Music for all occasions.
Yeah, there you go. And then Animal Crossing, New Horizons. I'm liking listening to the soundtrack to Animal Crossing. Again, that one's one where it's kind of background music, but man, it's got some good stuff in it. 5 p.m., my favorite time of day to play Animal Crossing, just to listen to that sweet music.
That Captain music coming in now.
Oh, yeah.
Really starting to shine.
That's my bad Captain impression. I've been full of bad impressions.
Better than most of your impressions.
I appreciate that. Next question here. Thanks so much for the question, Rizzle. The next question here comes from Frosticles. He asks, with the chip shortage seriously taking effect now, with the Steam Deck, PS5, and SWOLED shortages, do you think it'll cause this generation of consoles to last longer than you would usually expect to see? That is an interesting question, and one that I really hadn't given much thought, but it makes sense. Can PS5 really say they've been out for... It's been a while, but a year, 2 years?
A lot of people haven't been able to get it still. So.
Yeah, it's like, can they really say that they've been out that long if they have, and like the games have been delayed? There's not too many games on the system. What a weird world we'll be in when there's like 10 games on PlayStation and there's like 10 Xbox exclusive games for Series X and Series S, and then we move to the next we move to the next gen. And it's like, yep, that's it. That's all you got.
Yep.
Reset.
It was worth it.
I think yes. I think all of these consoles are going to last a little bit longer. What we'll probably see more of, instead of a new console generation, we're going to see more revisions to hardware and re-releases. Yeah. So it's like, oh, get the X Deluxe, the PS5 Pro, the Switch Pro. That's what we're going to see here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it will extend the life too much, but I think it will extend them some at least. Because, I mean, new consoles also just sell well.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, Napsy in chat says, imagine a GameCube classic. You're speaking Micah's language. He'd love that.
Oh, I like that.
Nice little box. Imagine just like a little ornament-sized box. Ooh, that would be nice. Next question here comes from Dan, our buddy from Retro Logic. Says, favorite thing about Donkey Kong Go? I think, like go now. Answer that. Fast. What's your favorite thing about Donkey Kong, Micah?
It's tie.
His tie.
He has a pretty cool tie.
We're going back to the soundtrack things here. I love Donkey Kong Country music. It is so good. That is some good music.
Is it too blasphemous if I say Diddy Kong Racing?
I don't think so. Diddy Kong Racing's pretty good. Diddy Kong might be one of my favorite things to come from Donkey Kong. Diddy Kong's pretty cool. I like his little red shirt and his hat with the Nintendo logo across the top. So branded.
Oh. Yeah, for real. But actually, my favorite part of Donkey Kong is the DK rap and such.
Oh, yes.
Like you mentioned with music. So good.
Dan is like obsessed, loves Donkey Kong. Definitely his like favorite character in Nintendo-ness. I mean, I like Donkey Kong well enough. I like him well enough, but he's not my favorite. I don't know who my favorite is. Probably Zelda. I think Zelda's my favorite of the IP. Not Zelda the character, but like the franchise. And I assume we're talking about the franchise, not the character. My favorite thing about Donkey Kong the character is he's just such a nice guy. He's a leader. He's like a father figure to Diddy. Where's the tie?
And if he
He's a
shoots
family
you,
man.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Next question here comes from Leo Veridis. I hope I'm pronouncing that, Leo. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Leo. If there was a game that you would dive headlong into a competitive scene for, what game would that be?
It'd have to be a relatively simple game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm never going to be that good at these more complicated games. The simpler the game is, the better chance I have of being able to compete, I feel.
This is very funny coming from you because I feel like you are very good at complicated and games that like Smash Bros. For instance. I would have thought your answer would be Smash Bros. But you don't.
That would be a fun one, but I know I would never, like, even if I started training and whatnot and like learning these advanced techniques and all the combos, I still wouldn't ever be competitive top tier.
Okay, we can see it.
But I mean, like, balloon fight, I feel like there's a chance.
The competitive scene for balloon fight. Here's. I feel like you need to come up with a better answer for that. One that actually has a competitive scene of some kind. Maybe you might have a cop out here with the answer I'm about to give. I'm going to say that if I had the time and could just dive in and really go competitive for something, I would do Breath of the Wild speedrunning. I really enjoy it. I do. I just don't have the time to like grind out runs.
I mean, have you seen like the 100% speedrun of that game?
Mm-hmm. I have. It looks fun.
Absolutely insane. It doesn't even make sense. Like, you have to get like a Korok seed in under a minute. Like, you have to get like 1.2 Korok seeds every minute to like beat the world record while also doing everything else you need to do. It's insane.
Yeah.
I would never be able to do that, especially because the game's, if you're going for like 100% sort of thing, that's too much time to invest in one run. I think short runs.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that's part of the reason I want to get into the speed running as a whole. Any percent, there's all these extra categories. You can do the 100%. There's dog percent. Pet all the dogs.
Oh, pet all the dogs.
Is the there's a lot of there's a lot of like goofy things you can do with it, and it's really just like getting really good at Breath of the Wild tricks, and that just sounds fun to me. I really
being able to launch yourself across the map whenever you want, essentially.
Yeah, I would love to get really good at doing those bullet time bounces and shield clipping and those kinds of things. I can do some of those. I've executed successful bullet time bounces. I have clipped through shrines at the beginning of the game. And it was so cool once I figured out how to do that stuff and could do it somewhat consistently. Bullet time can't do that consistently. It's so hard to land and aim those. Man, it's so fun though. It's just a very accomplishing feeling. Yeah. So are you going to say balloon fight speed running now? That was fun.
Maybe ice climbers speed running. I could see myself more in like old school Mario.
Okay. All right.
The ones you can beat in like 5 minutes if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Maybe you become a Mario Maker speedrunner.
I mean, it definitely would be fun to be able to dive into Smash Bros. Competitive.
Yeah, I like that question. Thank you so much for the question, Leo Veridis. Veridis? I'm just going to stop trying to pronounce that. You'll just have to tell me in Discord if I'm pronouncing that so wrong. And the next question here comes from Joe92. With Twitch being added to the Switch, what do you think will be the next app added to the eShop? What's coming next?
Maybe nothing.
That's it. We're done. No more apps.
I feel like if you have like Netflix and Prime Video, Hulu, and whatnot, things like that, essentially any TV you buy today has the capacity for that built in.
Right.
The only time it would be nice is to be able to watch things on the Switch, I guess. But I feel like there are already so many opportunities for like iPads, laptops, your phone, that it's not a priority.
The problem with those is that you do need to be connected to Wi-Fi or internet, and like the reason I would want to watch those on the Switch is to watch on the go, and you can't really do that.
Exactly.
You still need a connection.
I mean, but if I had to guess, I'd probably just say Netflix because I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have guessed Twitch coming to the Switch. So anything is possible in my mind now.
I don't have a good answer. I don't have a good answer to this. Maybe the next thing coming to the Switch is TikTok. TikTok on Switch Talk.
I don't think so.
And you have to hold.
I don't think
you have to hold
I
your
don't think
Switch
I would like
sideways.
that.
You have to hold your Switch sideways to see all of the things correctly.
That is something about that just seems wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
Nature, the laws of the universe.
Thank you for the question, Joe92. I am super pumped that Twitch is on the Switch. I like the option, you know? It's cool. So I would be okay with any of those other services being put on. I don't have a Netflix account. I don't actually have a account with any streaming service except for Disney Plus for my kiddos. Watch a lot of Mickey Mouse.
And so your wife can watch some of them Marvel things, right?
Yeah. She enjoys watching the Marvel movies. That's true. Next question here comes from Solo Something. Asks, do you see the recent DLC to Animal Crossing being content that can sustain the game over a year for daily to casual players? Or will Nintendo need in a year's time something new to avoid the mass pause of the player base again? I think this is a good topic, an interesting discussion we can have here, Micah. Personally, I feel like Happy Home...
Has Paradise in the name, right?
Happy
Homes Paradise?
Paradise? Happy Island Paradise? Can't remember the name of the top. My brain's shutting down, y'all. It's late. That DLC is very targeted to a specific...
Happy Home.
Yes, Happy Home Paradise. That
I just remembered it, you know?
That DLC is targeted to a very specific portion of the Animal Crossing fan base. If you aren't really into the decorative side of things, which not everybody is. Not everybody is. Micah and I can attest to that.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'd probably say mostly the filling out my museum.
Mm-hmm.
But I have done a couple houses, and me being the non-creative person I am, I was pretty impressed with myself, and I thought they looked pretty good. I think I will bust that out every once in a while.
Okay.
Get some more pokey.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think it will get me for a whole year though.
Yeah.
But I could see a lot of people, maybe not daily, but once a week or so, hopping on, making a couple houses.
There you go. I don't think they're going to give... They've already stated that this is the last major update that they're doing. You know, but they also said this is the last Ninja speedrun, and they did another one. They just did another one. Did you see that? Yes.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I forgot to mention this in the news. New Ninja speedrun for...
Is it like
it's Link.
A previously done one? Or?
Nope. It's for the release of the Zelda Game & Watch.
Oh.
To commemorate that. Yeah, they're doing like a Link-ish one. Man, it's
I guess maybe they in the small print they're like the last regularly scheduled.
Yeah, maybe. So,
I don't know.
maybe we'll get more DLC to Animal Crossing is what I'm getting at. Nintendo can change their mind, but I think that next up for them is to work on Animal Crossing New Horizons 2, or as I'm going to call this, Animal Crossing
Space. That's where they're going next.
Space.
Space.
Animal Crossing The Final Frontier. Oh,
I love that.
I hope Doug Bowser's listening to this one, because that's the way these ideas are free. I think they're going to be working on the next Animal Crossing game to be a launch title with the next system.
There's nothing major they need to add, I feel. They might as well just make a new one or get started on making a new one, essentially.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's my thought process and why they're cutting the DLC right here. So like, put these resources to the next Animal Crossing game, because this one sold so well. Can you imagine this being a launch title? Animal Crossing being a launch title for the next system? It'll just rock it if they can swing.
I mean, I don't know if I don't see the next Animal Crossing doing quite as well as New Horizons, but I think there are a lot of new fans to the series, so it'll still do quite well.
So our next thing here, this is a topic submission, kind of submitted to us by Brian Eck. He asked this question out on Discord, and I thought this would be a fun one to discuss on the podcast. So, how crazy do you think it would be if Nintendo abandoned the Switch concept? Will Nintendo move to, and this is in the same vein, will Nintendo move to an all-digital console in the future, like PlayStation, or the direction of Game Pass? I don't think they're going to abandon this idea of the Switch
hybrid system.
The hybrid. Yes, thank you for that. You got the words for me today, Micah. The hybrid console. I think we're gonna continue to see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even if their next console isn't a hybrid system, I don't see them abandoning the Switch. I see it. It would kind of become like the new 3DS. Maybe they put a little more emphasis on the Switch Lite and kind of swap over to more of just the handheld. But I mean, that would kind of also assume that the new system would still be able to. It would be backwards compatible or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna go Switch DS. We're gonna get a second screen. It'll be like a clamshell. That would be pretty cool.
I mean, I think it'd be cool if they kind of blended the Wii U and the Switch, and you could use the Switch as a second screen to whatever next iteration. Because there are a lot of like really cool asynchronous, like couch multiplayer you could do. That was just a blast on the Wii U. Mostly Nintendo Land. I take every opportunity I possibly can to talk up that game.
Yeah.
That game was so fun because of there's the one player using the Wii U gamepad. I can't remember what's it actually called.
Yeah, gamepad.
Oh, okay, yeah. And they have their own special thing going on, and it just has a lot of fun and unique game opportunities. Because I mean, essentially, a lot of that stuff could be done online or with multiple systems, but it's just really convenient to be able to do it on one system or
you're right. Actually,
have everyone be there.
Yeah, if it had online multiplayer, it could be a thing. Like, this one person is this, and everybody else is this. Yeah, I don't know how they would do that exactly. I don't know how they would blend, like bring back the Wii U, Switch U.
Okay.
The next part of the question here: will Nintendo move to an all-digital console? There were a lot of people in Discord that were like, "Please no, please don't do that." And
Yeah.
I see this a lot online as well. A lot of people we talked about in the news the complaints for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I hope I'm not mixing those up.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Those
because
the
the
upset reaction to there being a huge day one patch, and it's like, well, what's the point of buying the physical version? And I want my physical game to be playable by itself. I don't want to have to download it.
Yeah, I don't want a hybrid physical cartridge.
I think this is a hot take by me here. I think that most people, I gotta phrase this properly here. I think that out of all game consumers, not just the core audience of game consumers that are out here interacting in the online space because they're really into gaming, but just everything, wide spectrum, all 80 million units, I'd say a majority aren't going to care one way or the other. And so if it was an all digital console, they wouldn't be too upset. That's my thought process.
I feel like Nintendo fans especially seem to like their physical copies. I don't know, maybe I'm just making that up.
On a personal note, I like the physical side of these things. And I buy most of my first party games physical, but indie games I get all digital anyways, They're not available really in physical form. So we've been slowly moving towards this all digital media consumption, not just in video games. I mean, it's already there for music. It's already there for television,
movies.
It's like, it seems like that's the next step it's going to go.
Yeah, I think eventually, yes, they will move to essentially all digital, or maybe, eventually I think they will go all digital, but
let me tell you
this. It will be a while.
Nintendo is going to be the last ones. They're going to be the last ones to do that. They're going to be doing physical, long. I mean, they, in essence, backtracked going from disc to cartridge. Which is a happy, good backtrack in my opinion. I don't want to go back to discs. Let's not do that again. Because, gosh, my Wii discs got so scratched up. It's like...
discs I feel like weren't necessarily swapped to because they were better. They were swapped to because they were cheaper, essentially.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like cartridges have a lot more advantages, but disadvantage, they cost more to make and whatnot.
So my thought process here is maybe they will, but I kind of think I think Nintendo will probably stick with doing physical cartridges, but they're gonna become more and more digital, more and more digital.
Their next console in about 5 or so years, I highly doubt will be digital. Maybe the one after that, if it's like another 8 years.
And then it's going to be like an option. You can get the digital version or pay more money for the non-digital version. Yeah.
And then the next one after that might be all digital.
The next one after that will be plug your brain straight in.
Right into the brain, yeah.
Then it is all digital. There you go.
Future.
Thank you so much for the topic, Brian. And thanks for the questions as well from everybody who submitted questions this week. If you want to submit a question like all these fine folks did, you can follow us on social media. You can join up our Discord. Links to that are in the description of the podcast below. Micah, let's backtrack here to the rumor mill. It's the rumor mill, and we have a rumor cooking for you. That's my intro song to the rumor. I'm really tired. I don't know if I made that clear.
who's cooking in this mill?
Oh, I'll be cooking in this
dangerous.
mill. Well, actually, we have a specific...
Because, flour and fire, I believe, actually don't go together too well if it's all dispersed in the air and whatnot. I believe there's some chain reaction thing, has some name, causes explosions.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's not necessarily flour, but it's just like dust. If there's just the right amount of dust or flour in the
kitchen.
air.
Yeah.
It has some weird fire explosion thing.
Well, speaking of weird fire explosion thing, Metroid Prime. You have a gun arm that shoots weird fire explosion things. sometimes.
Yeah, powered with flour and just a little match.
Yeah, that's how Samus's gun arm works.
Well, yeah. Apparently,
so-
explosions in flour mills is a real danger.
You saw this rumor in the notes. The
Yeah, like I'd seen that somewhere. What was that?
This is a rumor that is
yes.
back from the dread, not from the dead, from the dread. Ha ha ha. Metroid Prime 1 remaster wrapped up development over the summer, according to leaker Emily Rogers. But she is unsure if the plan for the trilogy was axed, but is very confident that the original Prime remaster is done. So the first game, specifically. I don't know if I believe it or what.
Like we've been hearing this rumor for a while. It seems like.
Yeah, the Metroid Prime trilogy has been rumored for a while.
Yeah, and if it seems like if you hear a rumor for too long, the less likely it is to be true. It just people refuse to let it die.
The thing is, this is talking about a complete remaster of Metroid Prime 1. Not a port of the trilogy, which is what I thought the rumor was. That's what was being rumored a lot.
Was
it's like, hey, we're just gonna basically port what was on the Wii, and we're gonna upgrade it to be here. So remaster to me reads like a very intense upgrade, and for Metroid Prime 1, I think that makes sense. It's the first game in the series, came out on the GameCube, so it could get like a big overhaul graphically and benefit from that pretty greatly. And it's considered the best game in the series by most. And then like critic-wise, it's the highest rated Metroid game ever.
It's like critic-wise, it's one of the highest rated games ever, I believe.
Yep. It's up there. Up there with Ocarina of Time.
It's a except Ocarina of Time was rated like 7,000 years ago.
That's true. Ocarina of Time did come out. The console.
There's like if you go on like Metacritic and look it up, there's like 17 reviews for it or something, instead of like the 1.7 million you get nowadays.
That's how.
Slight exaggeration, but
I was like, oh wow, Metroid. Yeah. So, would you for sure pick this up if it came out a remaster?
If it is a remaster, I would be so tempted. I'd want it so bad. But at the same time, it would make me think Metroid Prime 4 is probably coming out pretty soon afterwards, and this is to get you hyped for it. There are already a lot of things I want next year. And I do have Metroid Prime. I have a hard time buying remasters, and like ports especially.
Yeah, I'm hearing
this. I don't think I've ever bought a port of a game that I've already owned. So this would be the closest to getting me to do that if I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like you would. It's been long enough that I think you would want to play it again anyways.
Yeah. I guess that port thing's not actually quite true. I did get the Metroid trilogy on the Wii for like $20 or something when they had that weird game select thing. They had it for like 3 different games or something, and then they stopped it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got totally sidetracked here. I would buy this for sure.
You better buy this for sure.
You better buy this for sure.
Because you haven't even played all the way.
You're not even playing.
You haven't even played Prime. You played like 7 minutes of it, and you're like,
I'd be really welcoming of a upscale remaster type deal for any of those games, because it's like it's hard to go back to an older game. That's always the case for me. I would rather play.
Always.
I'd rather play
You're
the
always
latest version.
So what you're saying is you'd rather play
Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS.
Other Zelda game.
Listen, I know where you're going with this, and I cut you off. Ocarina of Time on the 3DS is very good. It is very good, and I would rather play that version than the N64 version, for sure. I was a little disappointed.
Honestly,
we
you
didn't
know,
get it.
the last time I played Metroid Prime, I mean, it has been quite a while at this point, but it played very well still.
Yeah, it
It
kind
does
of holds
hold
up.
up.
It does hold up. Yeah, it's very stylized again, and you're not really seeing. It's first person, so you don't really see Samus being kind of blocky. You know, you're just seeing
And
enemies.
it's just, well, the best part of that game is like your visor fogs up and certain lighting, you actually see a very slight reflection of your face. Man, for the time, that was just like mind blowing. It's incredible. It's still incredible.
Samus is
though.
a girl.
Bring it back.
That's why you're looking.
This is
in
a
the
very
visor.
feminine looking man. This is a weird.
I feel like they need to somehow plot twist that again. I know that like everybody
Samus is
knows.
an android controlled by a really small man.
the visor opens up and it's like a little guy. It's Mario. He's like, it's me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. That's the rumor mill, Micah. And guess what? That's the end of the show too. Whoa! We made it to the end of the show, and you know this was a little discombobulated, I'd say, but what a fun show it was. So now let me hold on here. I gotta come down to the outro tune. Make sure that's rolling, and outro playing now. I came in really loud with that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so we didn't have Sean do a closing remark.
Yeah, so we've got to have Sean give a closing remark in the middle
Micah,
of
how about this? You give us our ending plug stuff, and I will come up with the outro remark. So just plug all of our stuff.
all of our online social medias, such as Twitch, and Discord, and TikTok, and Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube. My plan is to do this so poorly that you never ask me to do this again.
I'll just ask you to do the outro every single week. That's fine.
But you can find us on Twitch at Nintendo underscore pals, and TikTok and Instagram at Nintendo Pals Podcast. But I mean, you can eventually find us if you search hard enough with Nintendo Pals and stuff.
It's true. Yeah. So definitely,
we finally show up top result for our name on Twitch. So
we do. Please help us reach our goal of 200 follows so that we show up in more search results on Twitch for Nintendo Pals. So yeah, with that, I just want to give another huge thanks and shout out to our friend Roger Pollard for the intro and outro music we use for the show and for our logo. Thank you for that, Roger. You're awesome. And a big thanks to Sean Capri for coming on to our show, even while being scheduled for another show. That guy is a hero. Check out Sean Capri.
I just want to know when he's going to get sponsored by Capri Sun. And there's a lot of opportunities and possibilities there that I just haven't been fully realized yet.
That's true. We'll have to let him know. And my closing remark today is going to be, thank you so much for playing with verted controls, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.